My name is Will, and welcome to the Distorted Transmission for today. I'm talking to a Wellington Stoner Rock band, Mammuthus. How are you guys?
Good, mate. Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Good, bro.
Cool. Okay, let's start off with the intros. Let's start. Let's maybe go guitar, bass, drums, I guess, to make it easy.
Yeah, I'm Josh. I play guitar and do vocals.
Yeah, Matt. Bass.
I'm Jay. Do the drums.
As far as songwriting goes, who is the sort of primary songwriter, or do you all sort of collaborate?
I think we all kind of get in a room and kind of go with the whole jam it out aspect, and then I think it's probably my job to go away after that and piece all the bits together. But it's definitely a group effort.
Could you give me the sort of the basic overview of the band's inception to sort of now?
Matt?
Yeah. Well, I moved to Wellington in 2016, 17 after playing covers bands in Queenstown for about 5 years. Moved up, didn't really touch my bass for a couple of years, and then got on the Tinder of musicians and found Josh on a local Facebook page, and just I wanted to play dumb heavy music, and Josh was in the same boat, so we got together and had a few jams over the course of like a year and a half, and then found a drummer. The original drummer, Rob, recorded pretty much all that EP over the course of a couple afternoons remote. So we just sent him all the stems, and that came together pretty nicely. And then Rob left the band, and Jay came on board, and yeah, started gigging and just having fun. So it's been 3 years since the EP, so it's been a good time since.
If the COVID thing didn't sort of occur, do you think you would have released something a lot earlier? Was that like a stumbling block for writing, or would it have been about the same amount of time?
I think it was probably perfectly timed, right? It's like it was almost something to force us out of the just like jamming every kind of couple of weekends, and I don't know. I think we had more time on your hands, and you kind of get time to record. So I mean, yeah, surely we weren't playing gigs, but I don't even think we were really ready to play gigs by that point. We were just kind of use that time to record, put something out.
Speaking of your releases, you have a self-titled 4-track EP released March 4th, 2020, and now 3 years on, your new album Imperator. How would you pronounce
Imperator.
it? Not Imperator. Cool. Imperator releases July the 7th this year. Give me some sort of background on the recording experience of Imperator.
Matt?
Oh, I did the last one.
Jared?
We recorded the drums at the Massey University. This big, huge room in there. Had all these mics everywhere, up in the air and everything. So we got this big, massive drum sound, which was really awesome. Recording with James Goldsmith. Yeah, cool experience, eh? And then the guys did their own tracks at home. Was that right?
Yeah, we did all guitars and bass, and just recorded stems and reamps later in a smaller studio, and vocals as well, right?
Was that room at like a sound stage or a theater? What exactly was it? It was huge.
That's the Massey University's recording facility. It's a room designed to be used for the New Zealand Symphony Orchestra. So it's fully acoustically treated, purpose-built, large format recording studio. I think we were using one of 3 large format consoles. I think we're on the Neve or the SSL. And yeah, James Goldsmith was a fantastic recording engineer to work with. Just made it happen, made it sound as good as it could.
It was like the room was like way too big for just one drum set, but it must have sounded phenomenal.
It's unbelievable. There's like 3 grand pianos in that room, and they just take up a tiny little corner of the space.
It was really cool. Yeah.
All right, so you have an album release show drawing very close. So let's talk about that. Who are you playing with? Where is it? All those things.
Yeah, July 7, Valhalla in Wellington. We're doing it with N-Boss, Into Orbit, and Dear Antler. So yeah, we're just trying to start getting prepped for that. It's going to be a huge show. We're actually one of the tracks on our upcoming album has EJ who's the singer for NBoss, doing guest vocals on there, and so she's going to come over and sing that song with us on stage. So that's pretty cool. We haven't really done it live before.
You guys are obviously Wellington based, and you do a lot of gigs in Wellington. In fact, I'd say you do pretty much all of your gigs in Wellington. Have you thought about going further afield, like maybe bringing like a gig or two up this way, like to Hamilton or Auckland? I'm sure you'd be welcomed.
Yeah, I think we're kind of slowly putting together a bit of a tour after this album release. We've got a few dates with 1,000 Mods, who's a Greek stoner band coming over. We're doing what we got June 5 at Valhalla, and then we're doing June 6 at Christchurch at 12 Bar, which is a Tuesday, but it's a huge band, so it's going to be an awesome show. And we've got one show booked in New Plymouth on August 26th. 8 Ball, I think, is the venue. But I think around those dates, we're going to be starting to kind of try and get an Auckland show in and a few others, North Island.
Definitely keen to try and play some different places, eh?
Spread our wings, eh?
Mm.
What are the plans that you have going ahead? Have you got any sort of like larger, how would you put it, sort of bucket list kind of things that you'd like to do with the band, ultimately? World domination aside.
I'm an Aussie, if you haven't picked up from my accent, and I used to play a lot over there from Canberra, so I've got a few connections there. We kind of might, we've talked vaguely about perhaps getting over and doing a few shows in Australia, but I'm not so sure about world domination unless you guys have had other ideas.
Just keep having fun. Like, that's the main reason why we will do it. And if it stops being fun, we'll stop doing it. But for the moment and for the foreseeable future, I can still see it being a good time. So, like, I don't want to rule the world with my mediocre bass playing. I just want to have fun and hang out with some good dudes.
I get a lot of people coming into the shop to buy fuzz pedals and such quite often. It seems to be a thing. A lot of sort of late teenagers, 18-year-old guys. Like, yeah, I'm really looking at a fuzz pedal. I really want to get the sound. So, for the benefit of those people who, if they're watching, could you give me like a brief rundown of the kind of sort of fuzz gear that you use to sort of establish your sound?
Yeah, I'm in my own fuzz journey myself. I had the benefit of having like a bunch of pedals when we were recording this album to play with, and a mixture of a few different amp heads and stuff. But I've recently picked up, I don't know, it's sitting around on my board somewhere, but like a $30 Behringer fuzz, which is a clone of and like, man, I was just blown away by how good it sounds. But yeah, that might be a sound for later on. I think what am I using, Matt? I'm using
Yeah, man. What is he using?
A hoof.
Various Big Muff clones.
Yeah, that's right. I think they're all the same, but all different somehow.
Are there any that you've stumbled across that impressed you more than others? You're like, holy shit, this is a great pedal.
Yeah, I think that Hoof Reaper, I think it's called, by who makes those? It's a good question. I'll go and have a look. It is Earthquaker Devices, and it's two fuzzes put together. So the Hoof side is kind of more of like a light, crunchy fuzz, bluesy type thing, and then the Reaper is like really overdriven kind of sound, and it allows you to put them both on together, which is fucking full on. But yeah, having that diversity is really cool if you kind of want to have a crunchy sound and a real heavy sound.
One thing I did notice about your first EP was how compressed and how loud everything was. Every time the kick comes in, it like pretty much the entire song disappears just for that moment, and then it crashes back in again. It is so pumped that there is zero room for any dynamics at all. It's just
Yep.
For better or for worse, eh?
I think that was Rob's first introduction to learning about too much sidechain compression. It's too much.
Pretty full on.
That's the fun of an EP, though, right? You're kind of just playing around with sounds and stuff.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun to write and just to put something out. You're kind of testing the waters at the same time, right? But I think I'm glad we got the album done with James, because he's blown. Yeah, I'm still stoked about how great it sounds. Keen to get it out there.
So there is a little bit more headroom on this one.
Yeah.
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 Way more.
Yeah. Sometimes volume isn't everything, right?
For what it was a big, powerful sound, it did exactly what it was supposed to do. I just wondered if, that could have been your signature thing, for all I know.
Maybe it is.
Maybe it is. From here on out. Cool. All right. Well, the last thing I ask people before we wrap up is there anything else they'd like to add to the interview? And that gives you a chance to say your piece.
Jared? Yeah, I just want to say thanks to everyone who bought our EP and our merch and were coming to shows. And so, yeah, we're really excited for this album to come out and try and get on some stages near you.
Yeah, I'd just like to do a bit of a shout out for all the other bands that we've played with. Sidewinder, Inboss, Beast Wars, Pull Down the Sun, just all the cool people that we've been able to meet and jam with over the years.
I suppose we should mention Sasquatch as well.
Yeah, we should.
And my camera's frozen, isn't it?
Yeah, it has.
Awesome.
This was your time to shine, man.
It is, my big moment. Maybe it's for the best.
All right, guys. Well, best of luck with your album release, your album release party, and your potential gigs around the country. I hope they all come true and everything's amazing.
Thank you, dude.
Thanks for having us.
Say goodbye to everybody.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for watching.